What's up, guys? Um, Another random drop today. I know you're probably wondering what's going on. I took my laptop and put it on the other side of the room because the lighting was better. And I lost my headphones. I don't have my headphones anymore. I don't know if when I was cleaning out my apartment, if I put them somewhere or, because the thing is I wasn't using them very much, other than for YouTube, and so I must have just placed them somewhere, put them in a box or a bag, and put them somewhere, put them away somewhere. And I don't know where they are. I can't find them, so they might even be in my car. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. I'm gonna record a video today. I'm gonna try to record, and it's gonna be the camera's okay. I have some decent speakers, but the microphone I'm using is because I don't have the headphones, I can't stream the audio input directly from YouTube and put it into OBS. So I'm going to have to use the microphone that's in my laptop. So the sound quality isn't going to be very good. Um, so you guys are just going to have to deal with that. And I'm sorry about that. But I don't have a lot of subscribers anyway. I don't have a big audience to appease or to make sure that I'm delivering a quality product. No one's paying me to do this. I don't even care if anybody likes or subscribes or comments. There's only a few people that I care if they see this video. And the people that really care aren't the people that are nitpicking the audio and video quality of the videos anyway. So I really don't care. So if you've got a critique about, oh, the music's muffled, or you don't look very good, or your editing is crap, or the video isn't very high quality, or get a real studio, or whatever, then I would just say it's okay. I'm not going to change what I'm doing to make you happy. I don't care that you don't like the quality of the video. And if you don't like it, don't watch. And there's plenty of other creators on YouTube, plenty of people reacting to songs. Go watch their videos. It doesn't make a lick of difference to me. This isn't my career. Okay, I'm not trying to grind and make it in YouTube. This is just a hobby of mine. And I listen to a lot of music. And occasionally I might get, a bug, and I might be like, let me just listen to some music on camera and give my feedback. And then, the sound of the music in the video will be what it is. It'll be subpar. It'll be muffled. But hopefully, if you've tuned into this video and you're curious about what my take is and what my um, opinion about this music is, then you've likely already heard the music. And I'm going to put the link to the original music in the description anyway. So if you really want to listen to the music, then go listen to it. But this is more about my own thought process and how I approach what I'm going to be listening to and how I listen to music, what I look for, and just a general celebration of the artists that I find fascinating as somebody who's been listening to music for a very long time, who's been listening to metal for a very long time. And I'm going to be taking you through just my experience of this music. And if you had a similar experience or you had a different experience, then leave that in the comments. I'd be a lot more interested to read that. Not necessarily comments about the technical details of my video production or how I can improve. I'm not looking to improve. I don't care. So I don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you comment. You don't hear that very much on YouTube, but that's what's going on this channel. So we're going to be listening to an extreme metal band today. Very dissonant, very discordant, very kind of eerie, unnerving, dark, sinister. We're going to be listening to Deathspell Omega. I haven't really made up my mind about what album I want to get into, because it's going to be a full album. This video is going to be an album reaction, and I have an idea, but I haven't settled on anything yet. I'm kind of looking at their YouTube. I'm kind of looking at their YouTube, and I've got a few ideas from what I've heard from Deathspell Omegas so far. It looks like this album, Fas ite Maledicti in Ignem Aeternum, is going to be the one that I want to return to. The album was published on YouTube 8 years ago, and I use AI a lot. I use ChatGPT a lot. I've had conversations with it about Deathspell Omega. And it seems from the research that I've done with AI, it seems that this album is one of their core canon albums. And it's celebrated as one of their best. Even though opinions may vary amongst fans of this band, it looks like this album in particular is a good representation of their sound. And it sounds like it's generally regarded very highly in their catalog. And I've already listened to it a couple of times, but the music is so enigmatic and mysterious, and it's veiled in all of these layers upon layers of chaotic distortion and dissonance and unconventional timing, and just it sounds like a shitstorm in some ways. And it's not like I have this album committed to memory, or like I've already, like, oh, this is just familiar territory. Actually, this is something that I'm excited to listen to more, and that I'm excited to get into more. And just remember, like I said, the audio quality of the music is not going to be very good in this video, because I'm going with the microphone that's built into my MacBook, and it's not a very good microphone. So it is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Again, the album is called Fas ite Maledicti in Ignem Aeternum, and it's by Deathspell Omega. Deathspell Omega, I believe, is a French metal band. Their history is a little interesting. Their public persona, they don't really have a public persona. They're one of those artists that likes to stay in obscurity and stay anonymous and hidden from the public, and they don't really publish their names. They don't have like a band photo or anything, or any kind of, there's been no, as far as I know, this could be not up to date, but so far from what I've gathered, there's no public revelation of who these guys are. It adds a little mystique to who they are and what they do. But the music is all I care about. I don't care about necessarily the personal lives of the individuals that make it. I just want to celebrate the music. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get into this. This is Deathspell Omega. And I've already said the name of the album a couple of times. It's a long title. I'm not going to repeat it. 8 years ago, this was published on YouTube. I'm hoping this is the official label, or this is the band's YouTube. We're going to see. Yeah, it looks like it's not the official YouTube, but that's okay. This has been remastered, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a link to Deathspell Omega's YouTube in the description of this video. So again, this is my reaction to Deathspell Omega, Fas ite Maledicti in Ignem Aeternum, remastered. sounds like I'm in a dungeon. This is like looking over your shoulder music, horror movie music. He's just lightly playing those drums. That's a very like basic, simple, slowed down drum pattern. But with that guitar, those notes, it's and the general atmosphere of the track, and then these almost these lurches from the vocalist, the atmosphere, I should say, of the music is like so hellish. And how many bands do you know are desperately trying and many successfully achieving that sound? But how many bands are trying to get there, and they're going about it with all of these extreme, these really deep gutturals and blast beats and super fast riffage and like all of the traditional death metal that we hear, or some of the more sinister thrash that's out there. But it's like this is almost skeletal in its presentation, but it's still communicating that feeling of being in some weird nether realm where you're about to get swooped up by some demonic entity. So we'll see. I don't know what instrument that is, but it's like a low, bassy, buzzing. That's got to be a bass. It's got to be a bass. a killer intro, man. Golly, man, that intro was just so unsettling. It looks like it sounds like the way the album cover looks. It's like an angel is being condemned and is falling from heaven and falling into some hellish realm. That's like the journey it's taking you on as a listener. That's where that, like, we get into that intro. It's like you've fallen into that space, and then now the carnage is going to start. The actual, we're going to get to the actual punishment, the eternal punishment part. And it's just very intense. And the now we're into more of a traditional death metal style, but that intro was crazy. I really don't know how they play this live without all of the parts of the track all flying apart. It's so chaotic. People are going to wonder about the genre. It's a little bit experimental. It's a little bit of a black metal atmosphere, and but the raw technical, the actual playing of the instruments, to me it seems a little bit more in the death metal realm. So there's just a lot of things going on here. It's like a mishmash or a blending of all of these extreme, outside of the mainstream, all of these very dark and dissonant sort of sensibilities and art forms and aesthetic choices, all made into a single sort of stew or gumbo. And it's just very, it's disorienting, but it's also terrifying. That drumming is just absurd, man. It's like, how are you supposed to keep time? It sounds like complete chaos. I knew they couldn't keep that going for 10, 12 minutes, or there's no way. You couldn't physically do it. These ambient voices are just chilling, man. Golly. There's something very meditative about it. It's super strange. It's like spiritual and dark, and there's a nod to Orthodox Christianity in the imagery and in some of the aesthetic choices. But this is not like a celebration of the good parts of religion. This is a experiment in sort of the orthodoxy and the myth and the belief surrounding like what it means to fall from grace, what it means to be in hell, what it means to be stalked by some demonic entity, what it means to be punished. This is like this is a nightmare, you know. But all of that aside, that to me that's the aesthetic beauty of the music. The deeper the architecture, the thematic architecture of the music. Sonically, it's that level of chaos is a little bit soothing and therapeutic because you can't keep up with it. So all you can kind of do is sort of surrender to the experience. And it's that level of in the surrendering to the experience and the music, there's a sort of a relaxing. So I could imagine many people that listen to this, they're not like frantically headbanging, they're just sort of like contemplating. So it's a very sort of like backwards, kind of like strange entry point into some very calm, relaxed states of mind. And we're going to use walls of noise and dissonance to get us there. It's very fascinating, the effect it has on the brain. Satanists and fundamentalist Christians are odd bedfellows because they both pay heed to the same myth, the same stories. Not all, I'm not, that's, well, I shouldn't say that. That's a broad generalization, but it all stems from Christian myth, you know. But it wouldn't surprise me if these guys were Satanists, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were Christians either, is what I'm trying to say. This is cool. The reason why I like this is because to me, it's a little bit more coherent. It's not as noisy. Everything's been stripped away, and we have this meandering bass line and some light cymbal hits and maybe a little bit on the bell, and then we have these sort of like off-kilter melodies that the guitar is playing, and no vocals, and it's very pleasant to listen to, actually. It's very pleasant. God, I could inhabit this world. Like, I love this. This is so cool. Those drum fills, man, are just rattling my spirit. We're about almost 15 minutes in, and I already feel like I've been on just a ride, a journey. Thank God this album's only 45 minutes, because I don't have the stamina to do this, for an hour 20. I'd be exhausted at the end. it's not so much the physicality of the instruments per se. It's more like, just as I say that, what I'm saying, it's this dense atmosphere, and what the music is emotionally, what it's communicating is so hard, man. It's I'm beginning to notice some general patterns in the way the album's flowing. It seems like they're dropping into more of these ambient, sort of hellish soundscapes, and it's all centered around this feeling of like we've lost touch with spirit or the divine, and we're in some sort of alien hell realm, and it's where the general rule is that you're meant to suffer. Like, that's the general picture that I'm getting. But they're accomplishing this through these more ambient passages, and then there'll be these explosions of death metal instrumentation. And they'll do that, and they'll exhaust that, and then they'll drop back into this more contemplative, more peaceful but still unsettling kind of space. have any of you guitar guys and girls like metal? If anybody who plays electric guitar and who's into metal comes across this video that is a fan of this band can tell me, have you heard a power chord yet? Have you heard a riff yet? Have you heard? I mean, I just feel like Gore Guts Obscura, that record, that album, shaped so much of what would later become extreme metal. And I look at something like this as a direct descendant of that album. And I don't, it's just, it's so strange. It's like, I don't know how to. My favorite death metal band of all time is Death. Chuck was a master riff writer. I don't hear riffs in this. I don't hear solos in this. I hear like almost like raw texture, almost. That's all in service to some kind of emotional atmosphere that's meant to communicate a certain experience of a certain landscape, an idea, a vision, and it's hellish. And I can't imagine people lifting weights to this. I can't imagine people listening to this in the car. I can't imagine people, what I would say, like this music like this, an album like this, is only going to appeal to certain people, and even to those people, I would wager that they're only going to listen to this in certain contexts and in certain situations. That's my take on it. That was so abrupt. That was crazy. Don't listen to this album on psychedelic drugs. Don't do it. You're going to have a bad time. Go listen to Pink Floyd. dropping was cool. See, this sounds crazy right now. That the music sounds like they're going 100 miles an hour, but this won't last, guaranteed. They're gonna drop it. They're gonna do this until they exhaust, and then they're gonna go back to being chill again. I don't know, man. I'd say for me, the drums and the guitar player are the two stars of the band. The guitar is super creative. Again, really dissonant. Controlled chaos, unconventional, avant-garde, extreme, very unsettling, very noisy, just insane. And then that drummer is so skilled, actually. I hear the cymbal work. I hear the double bass. I hear all the fills and the general like musicianship. It's really cool. Very good. Told ya. That drumming. Again with these abrupt stoppages. Oh, that's so awful. God. Not in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that's really unsettling. That's so eerie. Oh my god. It's like what if you took like Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum's Ambugaton, or one of their more meandering songs, and then made it a extreme metal like album, and then with slightly orthodox religious overtones and mythology baked into it. It's exhausting. It is a gauntlet. It is not something that I listen to daily. It's a world that I inhabit because I like a challenge. I like to be, in awe. And there's something that there's a phrase that I've coined. I'm taking credit for this. I've never heard anybody say this. But when you're into like death metal, black metal, death doom, maybe you like cryptopsy, you like suffocation, you listen to I don't know, like Emperor and Leviathan, and you start to get into this world a little bit. You listen to Gorguts, whatever. There's this phrase that I keep coming back to that is grotesque wonderment. And that's what it's like. It's like seeing something that's so freakish and dark that you're like, wow. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do after this, but it's not going to be good, whatever it is. It's just, it's spellbinding. It really is. It's like, bravo. If I could, we're nearing the end, and I just, bravo, Deathspell Omega. More conventional here. thought we were nearing the end. We're not. We still got about 11 minutes left. What's amazing to me is that with just guitar, bass, drums, and voice, and maybe a little piano, maybe some bells, maybe some chimes, maybe an organ or whatever, you can, and some ambience, some really high fidelity production, you can create a world like this. And when you look at the actual embodied sense of what it is, there's not very much to it. But from these basic pieces, we've got this elaborate musical experience. And it's just, it's genius to me. It's just pure genius. There's got to be two guitar players. Got to be. Hear those howls, those screams, those yells, those shrieks. There's a chorus of them, you know? and they're placed in the mix. They're slightly behind the instruments, so it's not like they're meant to communicate some sort of lyrical message. Because I don't think this music is meant to be digested verbally. Is like they're putting a message out to the world. I just think those voices are the ambience you would find in some hellish reality, some damnation scenario where souls are being eternally punished, and it's just harrowing. It's absolutely chilling. That was good. Okay, so we've got just under 3 minutes. And did you notice that that ending section, what we just exited, that was the most harmonious and most like traditional rock and traditional metal that we've seen on the whole record. And it was almost like they were giving us a flourish of something a little bit more grand, a little bit more uplifting, a little bit more inspiring, and a little bit more resonant there at the end, almost like saying like it's gonna be all right, you know. And now we've got what I'm assuming is going to be about 2.5 minutes of atmosphere to sort of close this thing out. But this record is a challenge. This is not entry level metal. If you like this and if you've made it this far into the video, don't show this to your friends who don't know anything about metal, because they're going to get the wrong idea. They're going to get the wrong idea what metal is. Show them Black Sabbath, show them Metallica, show them Tool, show them Iron Maiden, show them Judas Priest. Don't show them Deathspell Omega, Ulcerate, Imperial Triumphant, Portal, Evangelist, Leviathan, any of that stuff. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh my God, this is terrifying. I feel accomplished after having listened to that. I'm like, I did that. I endured that. You know, it's not like I didn't enjoy it, but it's just so hard to listen to. It's like getting punched in the stomach, you know? just because of the emotional themes that are in the music. You know, music is an emotional language. That's what it is. And it's meant to capture aspects of the human experience and the human mind and to communicate an idea and a feeling. And that album, absolutely superior execution of that idea. And musically, not obviously my cup of tea, or I should say, my favorite thing to listen to. Um, like I said, my favorite death metal band of all time is Death. My favorite progressive death metal band of all time is Opeth. My favorite band of all time is Tool. My favorite avant-garde band ever is Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum. My favorite album of all time is Woods 5, Gray Skies and Electric Light by Woods of Ypres. So that kind of tells you the general universe that I exist in most of my days, most of the time. So this is a little bit even outside of my wheelhouse. But it's like watching The Exorcist, man. It's just like, damn, you know, it's like this sense of gravity and silence after it finishes is what lets you know that you experienced something really profound. And I think the way they ended that record with the orchestra, it was very fitting. And there's just such a sense of impending damnation in those final moments. And it really was just that. I would challenge also, I see metal YouTube space and reactor space. I see all these people reacting to all this metal. But what I'm curious is, when are you going to start seeing content like this? You know, I'm putting out content like this and almost nobody else is. You don't see reactions to Deathspell Omega on YouTube. They don't exist. You know, unless I'm confused or maybe I haven't looked deep enough. But I would be willing to bet that this video is the only reaction video to this album that exists on the internet. And so I know I'm going to get some people that watch this. Again, I'm sorry about the audio quality. As I explained in the beginning of the video, I'm using my microphone that's built into my laptop, and it's not a very good microphone, so I'm sorry about that. But it is what it is. But that was an experience. And I guess that's all I have for the video. So, yeah, leave a comment if you choose to. I don't mind if you, we can just chat, we can just talk about whatever, but please be nice, you know, and as a creator, it's my YouTube page. I can remove comments if I choose to. And another thing is that hopefully this video sees the light of day. I don't know how stringent, Deathspell Omega's record label is. I don't even know what their record label is. I think I paused it enough during the video to sneak past copyright. I hope I did. And we'll just have to see. But that's it, and that's all for today, guys and girls. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to be uploading a little bit more here in the future. I'm not making any promises, but occasionally you're going to see stuff like this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good day or a good night or a good morning wherever you are in the world. And stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.